So it's a great day if you're a backup from Microsoft 365 customer hosted in Veeam Data Cloud, because Veeam continues to innovate in the cybersecurity space, and today we're launching a ransomware threat detection service that runs right inside of Veeam Data Cloud and alongside your backups. Corinne has done a fantastic blog here detailing the sort of launch that we're doing here today, so that's available on veeam.com. I want to take a little bit look under the covers, show you it in the product and see kind of what this looks like. So let's flick over here and look at the detection service first of all. So first of all, we run these dual detection engines. We're also looking for malware signatures and other bits and pieces integrating into Microsoft's Defender kind of infrastructure that's hosted within M365. But I really want to hone in on the secret sauce that Veeam has built here around the ransomware detection service. So we run two profiles. Obviously there's a fast attack profile. This is looking for things like unusual ratios of files that have been added, removed, deleted, etc. Abnormal sort of temporal patterns that are running across your environment. And also things like known ransomware artifacts and other bits and pieces. So the fast attack profile obviously is a sudden change to your environment, and we detect those sorts of attacks. But we also go a bit deeper. We start building up this sort of extended profile of what normal looks like inside of your environment. So for these more persistent attacks or slower attacks that take a little bit longer to maybe form in your environment, we can try and catch those as early as possible inside of your M365 data estate. The neat thing about all of this is it's completely privacy preserving. We're not looking into the actual content of the files itself. We're looking at the metadata and headers and signatures and various different things of the file, and we're using a lot of those to feed into this sort of multi-dimensional kind of engine that then determines, the probability of it being a potential ransomware event. And the great thing is it's personalized. So we're not taking a global view of what kind of normal looks like inside of your environment. We're actually looking at it on a per user basis or a per resource basis, which means we can get really, really detailed and build up a model of exactly kind of what normal looks like for you versus say one of your colleague who might have a completely different usage profile to you. So under the hood, we're using this thing called random cut forest. And so you imagine these dots here representative of one of the things that we're looking at, and one of the dimensions. And we do the same process for a lot of the other dimensions that we're capturing as part of this ransomware detection engine. So you can imagine we've got some points here, and what we'd actually do using this random cut forest technique is we actually start cutting at random points. And you'll see that, if it was cut down here, this outlier or this item here was actually isolated in one cut. And you imagine we keep cutting through this data set, we keep counting the number of items that fit within that particular cut. And so you can see that this one here down the left-hand side took 4 cuts for it to be isolated. And sort of the TLDR here is that the fewer cuts typically equals a higher anomaly score when it comes to this random cut forest. So we're doing this across lots and lots of data points inside your environment, and this is how we're using it across multi-dimensions to sort of work out whether or not there's an anomaly score, and we start adding these up together. And so why this works is, normal backups or these normal dimensions, they form these sort of dense clusters. But ransomware, however, creates these sort of outlier patterns inside of this data set. And so the result really is that ransomware can be isolated very quickly, very efficiently. It doesn't require any training for detection, so we're not again having to go and spin up and build these particular models with a whole heap of training data sets. We're actually able to use this using this unsupervised machine learning method to actually go out and detect these. And so that's really the detection engine at its core. So why don't we flick across now and take a look at what this looks like in the product. So if we flick over to Veeam Data Cloud here, you'll see that this is my dashboard. So this is my Microsoft 365 dashboard. For those of you who have used this product already, you'll be familiar with all these items down the left-hand side. But there's a new threats section under management. And so this is the first foray into our threat dashboard here. And eventually we'll actually apply this kind of same methodology to potentially other workloads inside Veeam Data Cloud. So the goal is to move these threats up into a global threat dashboard so you can see that across all of your workloads But because we're only announcing it for M365 today, it sits within that window. So if you're looking for it, it sits within your particular Microsoft 365 tenant, and you can see those threats here. And you can see now I've got this ransomware threats tab here. You can see all of the resource types, or where this was potentially found, what its status is, whether or not it's active or a false positive or resolved. Obviously you can come in here and click view details, and you'll actually be able to scroll through and actually see the exact file location, where it was. You can go and investigate that, and then you can either resolve it or close it out completely. And so it's as simple as that. So I'd really urge you to take a further look through Corinne's blog here. It's really good. It details it in a little bit more detail around what I've announced today. And if you are a Veeam Data Cloud user, then go on and see if that tab's there. Make sure you've clicked consent for the AI processing that should have popped up in the last couple of days for you. And that's as simple as that. Really keen to sort of get your feedback, see what you think of this service, and look forward to announcing further things around the threat detection service.